So we have a new vehicle in the fleet here. This is Jake's 2013 Subaru STI. He just got it, I think, a couple of months ago. I was involved in a collision, so the trunk got replaced and it ended up with a WRX trunk, but he does have an STI wing, so perhaps at some point he will get an STI trunk. In case you can't tell by the way it's sitting in the grass here, it does not currently run.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah, so
That's why the engine's being replaced.
I blew a ringland. Well, I didn't blow
Wow.
it. The guy who had my car before me
yeah.
blew a ringland, and then continued to drive.
To drive it in the middle went in
into the oil
into-
and then went
everywhere.
And here's the replacement engine. It's a brand new block, forged internals, so it'll be able to withstand up to 650 horsepower. Is that correct, Jake?
According to IAG, yeah, roughly. I'm not going to push it even close to that.
So we're almost ready for assembly.
No, so these all have metal in them. Every single part on this.
Here's the old turbo. With the metal shavings in it. Or it might even be this one. Oh no, this is the good one. This is the replacement. So yeah, there are metal shavings all up in there. So we're not using that. So I failed as a YouTuber. I didn't document any of the engine installation. It was pretty slow going when I was here, and then I wasn't here when it actually went in the car. It's kind of funny because even though the block itself is brand new, it's surrounded by pretty much all the original parts. This intake is aftermarket. This 2013 STI is a lot more complicated than the Subarus from about 15 years ago that we're used to working on. But we got it done, just like we always do. I'm here alone trying to figure out why it will not start. At the moment, the car is cranking and not starting, not even sputtering, not trying to fire. So it actually has two codes stored right now. One is for a cylinder 4 misfire, which must have been left over from the failed piston, and the other is for U0073, control bus communication module A off, or something along those lines. So I did a little bit of research, and it sounds like a bad wiring harness could be a culprit, but there's always a chance that when taking out and putting an engine back in, that a wire gets chafed or snapped or accidentally cut for whatever other reason. But I was poking around, looking for a loose ground perhaps. Right underneath the starter, there's a ground. And it looks pretty good from up top, but I put my hand down there, move it, as you can see it's very loose. So even though the top bolt under here is tight, the bracket that it's against, I guess that's a bell housing bolt, that's still loose. So I'm going to grab a 14mm, go underneath the car, tighten that up, and we'll see if it fires up. So here's a better view of the loose bolt. So the bolt was pretty hard to tighten up, so I backed it out all the way, and it's probably a good inch longer than it needs to be. I mean, it threads in about an inch. That seems a little excessive to me. Okay. Well, that's more than it was doing. Huh. Well, maybe that's not the only problem. That's too bad. Alright, so there was a cob access port in the equation. So, I just talked to Jake and he suggested that I uninstall it. So it's been uninstalled and there haven't been any codes for a while. So the communication probably isn't an issue. Let's see what happens now. Nothing. I hope we're not just out of gas. That would be stupid, but there's an eighth of a tank.